network is being targeted by rogue nations in an attempt to make more money. Now that it is being called out and countermeasures are being considered, that has to be a lot to be executed. But the question is it only the illegal players? No, 6% of the error rate of Swift may end up like this. So that just ended up really worse, right? 900 million was misfired. That doesn't happen when you already have a technology like blockchain or DLT. And it can be time consuming in this kind of error to get that money back to where you actually want it to be. Now, at that time, remember what is happening around us and what JP Morgan stated previously. At present, we note that the speed, cost, and liquidity characteristics of Ripple have made it the most appealing digital asset for financial institutions for application at scale. Now, they are talking about implementation at scale. Now, that was back in 2018, but what you have to understand is banking and technology side for them in the finance takes time. If JP Morgan, one of a huge institutions in the financial side, understand this, they may change it soon. And then they stated this: we believe Ripple's creation has the potential to create competitive disruption for an existing service, which is cross-border payments between banks via Swift. So already they have disrupted the space, and then we are getting things like this: illegal actors coming in, and where are they actually attacking? They are attacking in the Swift network. So it is because the system is slow and these platform is divided into two: the messaging platform and the settlement via the Nostro accounts. So the banks have to use their Nostro account to settle once they receive those payments. Now, when this is happening all around the infrastructure of money, that it's all happening around the payment networks in the legacy infrastructure, and Ripple is on the race to build the new infrastructure. As we, the XRP holders, are one among the supporters of Ripple, we can be really proud about that, because as Ripple and Ripple partners expand their businesses around the globe, it's going to be disruptive. As JP Morgan, it's going to be disruptive for the existing financial services around the world. So we are going to see massive changes, but we need to be educated about this, because education brings in more awareness and patience into this one. Here it shows from the Canadian Central Bank that people doesn't have proper financial education. When the price is going up due to the inflation, and for some assets it's depreciating, the day-to-day life, they're still going after the inflated things instead of going for cheaper products. Now, that is because they don't have that financial education. But as investors, here we should be financially educated. If we are not, we may end up with losses. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we talk crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value in the content, please do hit that like and subscribe button. To reach out and support the channel, you can use the Patreon and PayPal links in the description given below. Now, when we talk about all these stuff without proper education, people are not actually understanding this. When we are nearing a time of inflation due to unlimited currency printing, people should be looking at assets which can store the real value. If you are looking at traditional assets, it can be gold, silver, and others. But if you are looking at potential digital assets which have that fundamentals, should be looking at something like this, Ripple, XRP. Why? Because all of them are changing now in the financial system. And when the financial system is changing, what you have to understand, there is the partners around Ripple is expanding. Now they are getting into different businesses for investors and opening up new infrastructure. Now this is the next slide showing Amazon Pay allows users to invest in digital gold. So as the time is changing, the investment side of it is also changing along with it. And when all of these are happening, the tokenization, digitization around the globe is moving forward. Russia's Bank and S7 Airlines collaborate in tokenization of flight tickets. Even flight tickets is being tokenized in a time when you have lockdown all around the globe. That's not that effective, but still, if you look around, you can understand that the entire financial structure, the framework for that is being changed. And here in the recent note from Powell, he kind of highlighted that Fed's kind of showing starts hard sell for higher inflation. Now that's what we are talking about. Inflation is going to kick in and your purchasing power in dollar terms is going to depreciate. Now if you have to store your value and keep your purchasing power, or at least without getting depleted in this war of inflation due to the currency printing by the governments, you have to stay at least keeping your portfolio aligned into an appreciating asset. Now for that, you will have to look at the market cycle of different assets which you are looking at. Now this is a short term chart which doesn't actually show you the market cycle. Instead, you have to go to at least a 3-day chart or a weekly chart to understand the market cycle. Now understanding the market cycle means it's not only looking at XRP chart. Looking at the XRP chart, you get the idea where the market is for XRP. But if you look at Ethereum and BTC, it kind of gives you a long-term signal where we are headed. Now, when you look at the BTC chart, this is what we kind of get at bit, right? We kind of made a head and shoulder. We went to the upside. We closed above that. Now we are kind of back testing that particular area. It can even drop around 11 or a little bit below that. And then if we are moving to the upside, that means we just completed that there. And the target for that one should be 139%. So say if it is even 120% or 130%, it should be huge as a take profit. If you're looking at around 120%, it's still $25,000 Bitcoin. So that's a new all-time high. Now, when we talk about new all-time highs, if you look at length, you can understand that it already started its journey into new all-time highs. This was the previous all-time high for that. And if you consider that particular asset, which is AV or LEND length, you can see that the price is already double of the all-time highs. It just doubled from that all-time high after breaching that. Now, I actually highlighted these moves in our Patreon link, highlighting that there is a potential move to the upside after breaching the all-time high, and it went 100% to the upside. So understanding the market cycle when allocating your portfolio is really important when we see changes like these entering in the global financial market. Now, when you do that, you also have to look at the entire crypto space. Why? Because these news are coming out, say 1 or 2 days afterwards to the common man, like common investors like us. But for insiders, they already understand that there is something going to happen in exchanges like this. Major Korean crypto exchange seized after 99% of trading volume was faked. So when you say higher volume for different assets, and say if you go into Coin Paprika and look at the volume and see some of the assets having a lot of volume, which there is no adoption for that. It is like just selling a fish in the street and still having heavy volume. You have to understand, if there is no fundamental behind it, who would be trading that asset using such a volume or creating such a volume, making that liquidity to take in any buy and sell? Meaning, if you're going in to buy at a certain level, you may end up buying that asset, but it won't be the actual fundamental which is pushing the price up. Instead, it would be wash trading, creating that opportunity to appreciate in price. But when you reach that new highs, you would be stuck there if there is no fundamentals and the liquidity being provided from that aspect. Now, recently DOT just went up 10% when the entire market is kind of fluctuating, but keep in mind that it kind of halved in last week. So do consider that it is a bit of a small bounce. Now we can't completely say it's just a dead cat bounce, but if you look at DOT, now I'm checking this only because majority I saw in the comment section asking about DOT and all. So look at this. What do you see from this particular move here? Now this is the only allocated time frame which we can access for DOT in Coin Paprika chart. And when you look at it on a longer time frame, you can understand it just dropped heavily. Now, if you measure that move from the top after making that new all-time high there and dropping here to the bottom, it is 100% drop. So if you are an investor, then you should be cautious at that point. Now, when an asset has already went down to the bottom from its all-time highs, you can understand that can also be a buying opportunity. Now, that's generally about the crypto market in the market cycle and technical side. Now, when we concentrate back in the fundamentals and look at things what we are talking about here, you need to understand this is a tweet from Federal Payments Improvement. They're highlighting the Federal Reserve is participating in a committee on payments and market infrastructure for what? Cross-border payments. Task force alongside more than 20 central banks and international organizations to do this, the cross-border payments. The cross-border infrastructure for moving value is changing because we are entering into an era of internet of value. Why? Because central bank digital currencies have to move from one nation to another, meaning one digital fiat to another, right? So that needs a neutral bridge asset to connect it between. Now, that is the side of utility, and this is the side of utility and fundamental. If you look at this tweet, is sent to me by Michael, and it kind of highlights, according to a recent report, SBI is going to start handling XRP this month. This included in the plan to be expanded in the company's business and operations with Ripple, the company. Now, we already understand that SBI is really high on Ripple, and they have mentioned Ripple a hell lot of times in their own reports, right? Many times. Now, when you go into that one and understand that they are going to go for XRP in August, this is August and we are at the end of August. So note that there are 5 days left for the end of August. Now, when they are going in for XRP, that's a bit of hype saying that, just in August it's going to skyrocket. We can't actually say that. No one can, no one really has that magic bowl to understand whether it's going to happen in next 5 days. But surely this is the fundamentals we are looking at based on the adoption side, because when you look at their reports, you can understand major exchanges are partnering with them, major financial institutions are their partners, and in that particular aspect, this particular technology is being selected for many different use cases. So the fundamental adoption use cases, everything is kicking in. So that is one of the financial education which you need to be the proper investor. Now, a bit of shout out to King Solomon XRP all. That it is true. I kind of agree with him on this particular one. Whenever you are looking for research articles, publications for Ripple and XRP, it's kind of really hard to get which is newer documents, what's happening recently, what are the things which are happening behind the screens, right? And then you look at, the financial institutions, NDA, non-disclosure agreement with Ripple. They are countless. Now, even David Joss on stage stated that I am under a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't actually put that information out before that announcement from PolySign. Now, in the same aspect, he's highlighting some documents here from one of the giant institutions around the world, which is Infosys. Here they are talking about payments, right? And it is currently slow and unpredictable when you're using Swift. Even though they are rolling out GPI products, it's not coupled with the settlement. It's just the messaging platform. So you still need that nose to account to deal with that settlement. Then they highlight Ripple providing close to real-time settlement and finality of cross-border payments. So you have a messaging platform being highlighted as Swift and settlement network as Ripple. Then banks are improving internal platform processes to meet SLAs. Now, when they are looking to deviate from the slow and unpredictable financial system to a quick and predictable system, they have to take that move. Now, Swift is costly. We all understand that. Swift GPI is providing fee transparency, but still it is costly. So costly and non-transparent fee structure for what? Using Swift transfer. So Ripple is providing cheaper FX transfer, also showing up fee breakup. So which is better, going into a higher cost Swift GPI or a lower cost Ripple? Banks are partnering with fintechs to improve operation efficiency. So which is the fintech we are watching all around the globe, which is partnering with banks and financial institutions? Cool. Now, why are they actually doing that? To do this thing, which is the main important key point in this one: liquidity management in Nostro accounts. So Swift GPI is providing real-time Nostro reconciliation service. They are enabling banks and financial institutions to go through their Nostro accounts in real time. But if you look at Ripple, it's a bit different, right? They are providing their own real-time liquidity using the on-demand liquidity platform. So it shows Ripple solution significantly improves liquidity management. Now, all of this are happening when we are entering into a space of interoperability and transparency. Here, it shows Ripple provides information richness, and this is in a document from Infosys, a third party. And then go into ISO standard and understand what they are talking about there. They are talking about rich data or information being processed for interoperability using ISO 20022. Now you get kind of idea which is being similar in Ripple's aspect, or what is being provided by Ripple, and the third party is understanding about Ripple, and then the regulators coming in and stating what we need. These are all kind of, the doctor being prescribing something, and the patient is already, I'm happy, I just wanted that. So it's kind of that aspect we are moving into. And then what is needing that repair? Ripple is offering bidirectional message flows, allowing data validation before payments initiation. So that kind of stuff happening here in this illegal actors playing this type of thing can be kind of neglected with this bidirectional messaging system, because it's kind of a chatty protocol. You can chat, get that confirmation, and then settle it instantly. You won't be actually giving any illegal player or rogue nation a chance to get in and take that. Now, yes, if they have quantum computing or something which is coming out from that future 10-20 years, they can actually do that. But as of now, they need this type of technology to understand that. Now, moving on to the next one, here it shows recommendation for banks and payment organizations. And when they talk about that, understand they are highlighting RippleNet and its partners like Currency Cloud and Earthport. But how are they highlighting that? Explore the right fit for customers and follow a portfolio approach in adopting innovations. So they are considering Swift's GPI as an innovation, and the challenges like RippleNet and its collaboration and partnership. So when you look at the status quo Swift GPI, we already understood how they are looking at its inability to do this in the era of DLT and blockchain. So as we go forward, we understand that they are all looking at the disruption of the Swift, because the competitors are kind of kicking in the butt of Swift, which is kind of giving them a real lot of pain in their butt. Back in 2018, they were all talking about cross-border payments in a crossroads. Why? Because of the introduction of digital technologies. And understand, now when we look at that in 2020, a year of entire world disruption for the economy in terms of health, whatever it is, business is going down, markets going down, all in the name of a pandemic. Now you need digital technology soon without any delay. If you're procrastinating this, you can't actually do that. Now, Swift itself is saying, yeah, we are going to take more time, we'll just dilly-dally around this thing and all, but understand, financial institutions are not looking at this thing like that, because back in 2018 itself, they all understood that maintaining their Nostro accounts for executing the cross-border payments in new global standards is kind of difficult for them, as the regulations are tightening, and the payments associated, cost associated with those payments with Nostro accounts and dealing with their reconciliation and all, it's making that making the fee a bit more high compared to the competitors which are coming out from the fintech space. The status quo can't actually go forward. Now, that is a perspective of investment which we all understand generally about the space. Now, when we talk generally about the space, it's also notable that recently it is showing Bitcoin transaction coming under serious restrictions in Europe and Middle East. Now, yes, we've been talking about this from the start of that time, in which they were all highlighting Bitcoin can be used by the nations like Iran, North Korea and all to just go around USD. Now they are being sanctioned, so they are using this type of technology to go around that sanctions. So even China, Russia, and all are talking about ditching the dollar, right? Now, it can be either via technology like cryptocurrencies or others, but the regulators are taking an attempt to look at this. They are throwing it all into the same bin, selling Bitcoin or reporting on Bitcoin. This paper appears to be what I have been warning about, that in a move to eliminate paper money and force everyone into their digital currency in the wings of Europe. So if they are entering into a digital euro, they all want it to be used within that country without jumping into other cryptocurrencies. Now, if that is the case, still you will need a bridge asset. So look at all the cryptocurrencies in the entire crypto market and look and understand which particular asset would be used as a bridge for the cross-border payments. If they are looking at just closing down others like Bitcoin, which completely they can't actually do that because these are all decentralized open protocols. Now, yes, there are a bit of centralization when you consider mining and other steps for BTC, ETH, and other mining network, but looking generally, it can't be closed down, and it is kind of easy to say or understand that. Now, that's all for that side of fundamentals and understanding the investment side of it. Now, if you come closer and have a look at 4-hour, 1-hour, 2-hour chart for your XRP and take, say, a bit of angle, you can understand we've been traveling around 10 to 11 degree here, previously around 12 degree, and then we bursted to the upside, right? We were moving kind of like that, and if you just look at this particular pattern being printed here, what you can understand there is it is also making something similar. If you look here, it has a bit of similarity in terms of what is happening here. It just went to the upside, made this particular pattern, which you can see here. If you zoom in and look at it on a 2-hour chart, then it came back below, retesting this particular resistance, previous resistance, which was turned into a support now, and then 1 and 2 times it tested that particular trend line and then went to the upside. So now we have already done that too, and we are there the third time. The patterns kind of rhymes itself, but what we have to understand is the timing may be different. Now that this time the entire percentage of fluctuation is different, the timing can also be different, because here it was only 18 to 20% of pump, whereas from here till the top we already saw that the price went around 70%. Now, considering that rise in percentage and time taken for the consolidation, here it took like 9 days to print the entire pattern there, and here it took around 25 days. Now still we haven't completed the pattern and started moving to the upside. Now that's on a pattern side, right? So if you just go and analyze the horizontal support resistance level, you'll simply understand that we are moving still in that range bound area. We haven't actually crossed to the upside or even till the middle area where we have previous support resistance. We are still at the bottom. We are retesting that bottom. So this is the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth attempt to cross that to the bottom, right? But on a 4-hour chart, when you look at the MACD, it's kind of giving you a direction that it's going to cross to the upside, which usually used to be a positive sign. If you see here, when that happened, the price started moving to the upside a bit and went till the top resistance. Now, that's on a small hour time frame. Now, if you jump into a daily time frame and understand the same, the MACD is actually going to the downside, RSI is going to the downside. That is kind of showing you that there is a divergence in this trend of movement. The price is still moving to the upside. It's still consolidating, making a flag-like position here in this one. But the RSI and MACD is showing the opposite. What we have to look at is, if you look at the Bitcoin's previous bull run or even XRP's previous bull run, we actually got some of these kind of divergence in a bull run, showing that the price may go down. But what happens is it's kind of being played. The investors are being played with their intentions and being kicked out using stop losses, who are trading with leverage and all are being kicked out. So we all have to actually be cautious about that stuff there. So guys, that's all for today, and if you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already done that. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.